Hey guys, this week we're going to be unboxing a new Kreg Jig I got. Stick around. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of BS with AJ. As I said before, this week we're going to be unboxing a Kreg Jig I got. I've been wanting to get one of these for quite a while actually. I don't do a whole lot of projects with plywood, but when I do, honestly it would be very handy. And I can think of several other applications I could use it in other than just doing plywood projects, of course. But it definitely helps with that. Anyway, I decided to buy a kit because it came with a lot of different things. I know you can buy just the individual little Kreg Jig itself, or they sell smaller ones that you can use without all the extra parts or whatever that I got. But like I said, I decided to get the set because honestly it came with a lot more and I wanted to see what all I could do with it. Anyway, before we get to unboxing that set, if you like videos like this, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and consider supporting BS with AJ on Patreon so we can do bigger and better projects for you guys. Let's get started. Alright guys, so today we're going to be unboxing the Kreg Jig, the K4 Master System, and Pocket Hole Screw Kit in 5 sizes. Let's go ahead and open this up now. Alright guys, so let's first look at the screw kit that came with it here. This says it's the most popular screw assortment for building projects and making strong repairs. So it's got 5 different types of screws here. We have the 1-inch fine thread pan heads. There's 150 of all of them except for these here in the middle. So we have an 1.25" fine thread with a maxi lock head. We have a 2.5 inch. These are coarse thread with a maxi lock head. You got an 1.25" coarse thread with maxi lock head and a 1-inch coarse thread with a hand head. So like I said, there's 5 different types here. All of them come with 150 except for this one here. The ones that come with 150 are zinc coated, and the one here in the middle here comes with 75 and it's blue coat. It has a blue coat finish on it. So it looks like these are for indoor use only, except for the blue coat finish. And that's for outdoor or indoor use. And they all use a number 2 square drive, which I'm pretty sure comes in the kit. So let's go ahead and open the kit up now. Alright guys, well here's our Kreg Jig kit here. I got the Kreg Jig K4 Master System. And the Master System has these 4 accessories that come with it. The dust collection attachment, a face clamp, a portable base, and a material support stop. Now I've never used a Kreg Jig before, ever. I've just heard a lot of good things about it. So I wanted to go ahead and give it a try. So I went ahead and got a pretty decent kit that came with several accessories because I don't know what I'm going to need. Because like I said, I've never used one before. So I've got a couple projects coming up that I'm using a lot of plywood to make. And I figured it'd be the fastest, easiest way to build this project. Like I said, I've heard a lot of good things about it, so that's why I've got it. So anyway, let's go ahead and open this box up and see what all comes in. Alright, so we have Skill Builder booklet and owner's manual. Not sure what that is yet. The Kreg Jig itself. Alright, so it looks like it came with some screws, an assortment of screws in here, as well as that big pack that I showed you earlier. I've got 2 different drivers here. Looks like one's probably about 3 inch, one's probably about 6 inches. Well, maybe longer than 6 inches. That's more like, yeah, that's pretty close to 6 inches. Alright. We've got this thing here. I'm not sure what any of this stuff does just yet. Because like I said, I've never used one. But I got a whole bunch of little parts. And this looks like the, yep, there's the drill bit here for it. Alright. Let's see, anything else? there's our clamp. Alright, that looks like it's emptied out the box pretty good. So I'm going to look over these instructions, see how all these parts work, and I'll get back to you. Alright guys, let's talk about what all came in the box. Now this is a Kreg Jig K4 Master System. So mine came with a few more accessories than would come with a regular K4 system. It's obviously got the bench top set up and your drilling block, I guess is what you call that. It came with several different types of screws here, just a few of them here and there. It came with a few wooden plugs here. It's got your drill bit, which is very important, obviously. And I'm sure a regular kit would come with at least one of these, but mine came with two. So I've got a 2.5 inch one and a 6 inch driver bit there. So let's talk about some of the accessories that came with a master system. This is the Kreg grips that came with it. I guess that doesn't come in a normal setup, which I mean, they seem pretty important, especially if you're just going to be clamping it down to your bench top. But it does have pre-drilled holes, so I guess you can drill it down to a bench top and have it stay there. It also came with this material support stop. So basically, if you have a really long piece of wood that's sticking over maybe a foot or more, you can use that as a support or as a stop block. So if you want to make several drills, if you want to drill several holes in the same exact spot on several different pieces of wood, you can drill that or screw that down to your workbench and use that as a stop block as well. So that's pretty handy, especially if you have a workbench specifically set up for this. Another accessory that came with it is the spacer block. So basically you just pull this out of your main system here and you'll slide this into place just like that. Now this is specifically for 3/4 inch material, so it won't work for 1/2 inch, for 5/8 or anything thicker than that. But regular dimensional lumber, which is 1x material, is all 3/4 inch thick actually. So that's important to know whenever you're working with this type of stuff. But like I said, one inch material is normally actually 3/4 inch if you bought it from a big box store. And so basically, if you have a setup similar to this here, you'll just slide it right into place and you can go ahead and drill your holes. You don't have to make any adjustments for the spacing or anything like that, because this is specifically set up for 3/4 inch material. Another thing that came with it is this vacuum attachment, which is pretty cool. You just snap it right into place, attach your vacuum, and it'll suck out all your sawdust, which will not only keep a cleaner work area, but it might prolong the life of your drill bit, which the way I understand they're fairly expensive. And that'll just snap right off as well. Another really nice accessory that came with it is this portable base. So this will just slide right in there like you would your regular bench system here. And it's got a little lip right here for your material to set up on. So you'll just slide it on whatever material that you got, adjust it to whatever thickness it is, lock it into place, and then you can use your Kreg grips to grip it down and go ahead and drill your holes that way. So those are all the accessories that came with this. So if you know how to use a Kreg Jig, then you already know how to use this setup here. But if not, we're going to go into that here in just a minute. Alright guys, let's talk about setting up the drill bit first. It's actually pretty simple with this setup. On the left hand side you'll see it's got 1.5 inch, 1.25 inch, 3/4 and 1/2 inch. On the opposite side it's got 1 3/8 inch, 1 1/8, 1 inch, 7/8 and 5/8. So depending on what thickness material that you're using will depend on what side you want to set this up on. So I've got mine set up for 5/8 of an inch. So I've put it on this side here. And you'll notice this is a step bit. It's got a smaller part to it and a larger part to it. You'll want to line up the larger step bit directly on whatever thickness material that you're using. So I've got mine, like I said, set up on 5/8 of an inch. You'll line it up, the larger part with that, hold it in place, and then you'll go ahead and tighten down your collar. Alright guys, so to adjust your jig to the thickness of the material that you're using, you've got this piece right here. So you'll loosen up this screw right here, the adjustment screw, and you'll go to whatever thickness of material that you're wanting to use. Now in my case, we're going to be drilling a piece of 5/8 inch plywood. So we'll put it pretty well right on that line, and then you'll just go ahead and tighten this up all the way. So that's got that part set up. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and attach this to what we're going to be using as our workbench right now. So we'll just You don't want it to be real snug whenever you're using these grips. You don't want it to be over tight or anything like that. You just kind of want it to be pretty easy to close, and that actually holds it in place really well. So I've already got mine set up to 5/8 of an inch. I've got my drill bit set up to 5/8 of an inch. The last thing you need to adjust is your clamp here. So this right here will adjust it. It either screws out or it screws in. And then you've got this nut right here that will actually lock it into place if you tighten it up. So what you'll want to do is just put your board here, and you'll just kind of have to guess and check with it basically. That's holding it pretty good right there, so I'll go ahead and tighten that up there to lock it into place, and that's pretty good. Now you'll notice, I don't know if you can see this on the camera. You can kind of. Okay, you'll notice there's 3 little lines here, and it looks like they're lined up directly in the center of each hole. So whenever you're using your board here, you can just set it up to wherever you think you want to put those holes, and that should be pretty well center of them. All right, we've got it clamped down to our table. We've got it, well, we need to tighten that up a little bit in this vise actually. We've got it lined up about center there. So we're going to go ahead and put 2 pocket holes really close together here. So we're going to take our drill, put our bit in here. There's 1. There's 2. All right, so we've got our holes drilled now. Set that out of the way for now. All right, we've got our holes drilled. So now what we're going to do is just kind of butt those up together. And we're going to take our clamp here and clamp these down to the table. Alright, now that is clamped into place. Now in your manual it should tell you what size screws you would need to use for what wood. Now for soft woods like plywood, pine, things like that, you want to use a coarse thread screw, and for hardwoods like ash and oak and maple, things like that nature, you're going to want to use a fine thread screw. So we need to find, for this particular type, it's a 1-inch coarse thread screw. It says right here on the package, softwood and plywoods. So we'll go ahead and use 2 screws out of this pouch here. Alright, and they should just slide right into place. Alright, and we'll just take our bit here and drive them on home. Alright, and there you have it. It's actually put together pretty good. It's a pretty strong joint. You don't have to use any glue. Now you can use glue if you want to, just for extra security. And basically you just take your plugs, or if you're using just a regular dowel rod or whatever, you'll stick them down in there, cut them off flush, and then go ahead and sand them. And that's pretty much the extent of this. So I hope you enjoyed this week's video. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and consider supporting BS with AJ on Patreon so we can do bigger and better projects for you guys.